Meanwhile, in stately Wayne Manor,
the 1966 Batmobile, the 1989 Batmobile, and the LEGO Star Wars Death Star? Today on Brickscale Studio. Welcome back to Brickscale Studio. My name is Jeff. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, we have an action-packed, exciting episode. A little anticlimactic on the 1966 Batmobile side. After waiting months for parts, again, we are greeted with a pretty paltry pack. Not a lot to do, but we will talk about that later. Also, after the build portion, we will talk about the 1989 Batmobile scale model that is coming out, and the new LEGO Star Wars Death Star that was just announced a few days ago. So let's get into the build portion, and then we will have a good long chat after.
and in the Batcave, deep below stately Wayne Manor,
Here we are at issue 57. So here is the magazine. All right, and as I mentioned in the introduction, yeah, it seems like after we have these long breaks, we come back and it's pretty anticlimactic. All we have are 3 wires that will be attaching to the circuit board. That's all we're doing in this issue. As you see here, and that is it. So here is the parts pack for issue 57. We get this out. All right. So also in this issue, we get these little blocks that we can put under the chassis of the car to support the suspension as we continue to build up on the car. So we've gotten these in other models. We had these in the DeLorean as well. So it's, yeah. I didn't end up using them in the DeLorean because I did not put the wheels on until the very end, but here we have the wheels attached, so we may do that. All right, so let me bring back the car. All right, here is this behemoth, which you probably can't even see the whole thing on camera because it's so long, but here is our circuit board. So this is where we will be attaching these wires. So the first one we want is G, so that's going to be the left turn signal. So that is this one. It's going to be the front left turn signal. So that's going to go into socket G. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave these bundled as they are for now, just so we don't have wires flopping all over the place. Alright, so this is G, so it's going to be going right here. The next one is H, and this will be the front right turn signal. And it's going in just beside it, or the next one around there. So there is H. And the last one is the afterburner, which is J. So that is right here. And J is down here in front. So let me grab that one here. Sure we got that in the right position. All right, so there is J. Okay, and that is it. That is all we are doing for issue 57. So I'm just going to leave the car where it is because issue 58 is right here. And it is, once we get through the magazine here, it is more of the same. We get 3 more cables that we will be attaching. And once again, that will be all that we are doing in this issue. So here is the parts pack for issue 58. And you can see it's the same. Let me just open this up here. So you can see it's exactly the same. We get 3 more cables and 2 more blocks. So let's see, the first one we want will be for the detectoscope, and that will be cable M, which is this cable here. And again, I'm just going to leave these bundled for now. So M. So it's kind of funny on the... it's printed upside down on the circuit board. Other people have made a note of that. So it looks like a W, but it's actually the M. It's the one between the I and the B. In the manual, they show it printed correctly as an M, but it's upside down on the circuit board, so it looks like a W. All right, that is M. And then the next one we are doing is the right rear turn signal, which is F. So that is right here. Again, I'm going to leave this all bundled up. And that is right up here at the top. And that is in there. And then the last one is going to be E. And that is the rear left turn signal. So we have all the turn signals in. So where, oh, there's E. All right, perfect. And then of course we have our blocks left over. And that is it for issue 58. So let's move on to the LEGO side. All right, here we are on the LEGO side. So I believe in the last episode we left off by attaching these 2 pieces here. So we will continue with steps 170 through 176. All right, that is through step 176. So we added all of these 1x2 wedge pieces along both sides here, and then we started bulking up this back section. We added all of this area here. All right, so that will do it for the LEGO portion. All right, to recap what we have done in this episode, on the scale model side, we put in 6 cables. We got front and rear, right and left turn signals. We got the afterburner light and the detector light. So I believe in the next episode we will be testing the electrics, so definitely stay tuned for that. And then on the LEGO side, we added all of these wedge pieces to both sides here. These 1x2 wedge pieces, and then we started bulking up this rear section by adding some pieces here and bulking this up here. So that will do it for episode 29. Okay, so that was the build portion. So before we get into all the other stuff, let's just quickly do our summary. So for the scale model side, we had a whopping 6 steps and 6 parts. We did a little better on the LEGO side with 9 steps and 59 parts. So total to date for the scale model, 282 steps and 320 parts. And for the LEGO side, 350 steps and 913 parts. Okay, so as I mentioned, yeah, not a whole lot to do on the scale model side. It kind of baffles my mind that I've been waiting for like 3 months for issue 57. And what I was waiting for was 3 wires. It wasn't even like a molded plastic parts or die-cast parts. It was 3 wires. So yeah, kind of crazy that we had to wait all that time for something seemingly so simple. Like, yeah, I mean, I could almost understand, again, if it was like die-cast parts or plastic molded parts that we were waiting for, something that involved some sort of elaborate manufacturing process. But just some wires with a plug and a light on either end. But it is what it is, I guess. So at least we're moving forward. I have parts now for several weeks to come. I think 12 or 14 weeks. So hopefully we're good for a while. But speaking of Fanhome and their parts problem, they apparently have another problem. So I mentioned it in another video a while back, but several weeks ago they announced that they would be doing a 1989 Batmobile scale model, similar to the 1966 one, and that it would be available for pre-orders on September 1st. Well, September 1st came, and we were greeted with a message on Facebook that said, oh, we are having technical difficulties. The launch page is not ready, and hopefully, in a day or two, we will let you know. Well, since then, they have launched the pre-order page for the 1989 Batmobile in the UK, but they published a notice, I believe it was on Thursday, just a couple days ago, that the US pre-order page would not be live until next week. So I was kind of excited about the 89 Batmobile because that's my Batman. I love the 89 Batman and Batman Returns. The other movies after that, no thank you. But, I mean, the 89 Batman is my Batmobile. So I was super excited about that. But now I'm just nervous. Like, given the problems we've been having with the 1966 Batmobile getting parts, and then now they have the 89 Batmobile, and they can't even get a web page to work. So, yeah. So I was hoping today to have some information about that and some pictures. Other people have posted images from the UK and links and things. But I was hoping to have, the one from the US, but apparently that's not to be. So maybe by next Saturday, we will have an update on that. The other crazy thing that happened this week, LEGO finally announced their long-rumored and long-speculated what it was going to be LEGO Deathstar. That's like 9,000 pieces and going to sell for $1,000. So they officially unveiled it today, much to the consternation of a lot of LEGO Star Wars fans. Apparently, a lot of people are not happy with it. It's not... I'll put some pictures up. It's not... We've had 3 other versions. We had sort of a sphere Death Star back in like 2005 or something. And then we had kind of a diorama kind of Death Star, but that they issued like twice, like in 2008 and then again in 2015 or something. But basically they were very similar sets. They were again spheres, and they had like little scenes around the sphere. So I'll throw up some pictures of those old sets. So people were expecting kind of a hybrid of the two, like maybe you would have the closed sphere and then somehow it would open up and you would see some like dioramas inside. But that's not what LEGO created. They created sort of this slice. It kind of is like a pancake. It's very flat. Again, I'll put some pictures up so that you can see. But yeah, so, I mean, apparently it's just, I mean, if you watch, Brixie, who's a pretty huge LEGO, YouTuber, he says that it has fractured the community. So yeah, people have some strong feelings about it. But I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's what LEGO put out. That's what's available. One of the major controversies also too is they are putting out a gift with purchase, which is this little TIE fighter, which will sit in a hangar bay on the Death Star. So it's sort of an additional component of the Death Star, but it doesn't come with the set. It's a gift with purchase. So if you buy the set day one or until supplies last, you can get this gift with purchase, and then you can put it in the Death Star, and it's, you know, a piece of the Death Star. But if you don't have $1,000 to spend right now, this set will be available October 1st, then you miss out on the free gift, then yeah, your Death Star is kind of missing. There's like a kind of a gaping hole in it. So yeah, that's kind of controversial too. People thought that either that TIE fighter should have just come with the Death Star set, or it should be available for purchase as sort of an add-on or something. But to make it a gift with purchase, it kind of forces people into buying this kind of day one, so they get that set if you're like a completist. I'm sure some of those gift with purchases, like they always gift with purchases, always do show up on the secondary market. But this one's interesting because it's part of the set. Like it can be part of the set. It's not just something that could go along with it or is in the same theme or whatever. It actually can be part of the set. So I wonder how many people are gonna, you know, buy the Death Star and then not put the TIE fighter in it, but sell it. But I imagine those that do will probably end up making a pretty penny because they're going to be rare, I imagine. But who knows? Maybe LEGO will make them available down the road for purchase. Who knows? But yeah, so crazy week for scale modeling and LEGO. But let me know what you think down in the comments about the Death Star. I'm not a huge, like, rabid Star Wars fan. So for me, like, I think it's kind of cool. Like, I was sort of meh, but I watched an interview with one of the designers and got some more information about it, and I think it's a pretty cool set for what it is. It's not like a spherical Death Star like everybody was kind of hoping for, but also, too, something that's round is really hard to display on a shelf. So having this sort of slice, it makes it easier to display, I think. Plus, I mean, it also comes with 38 minifigures, so that's something as well. But anyway, be sure to stay tuned. On Tuesday, we have another Optimus Prime video. We'll be joining the legs and the hips together. And then we'll have a complete lower body. So that will be exciting. And then, of course, on Thursday, we'll have another Titanic video. And remember to like, share, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And again, we're trying to hit those subscriber milestones so we can give away some free LEGO. And as always, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I will see you soon.